I help naturally quiet people with social anxiety, build confidence connecting with people, develop their strengths, and build a positive lifestyle. I thought I would keep things fresh, change it up today, and talk about how to start a business. And if anybody jumps on the stream, I'm very happy to answer questions that you have, because I know that it's a scary leap to make for a lot of people. It was scary for me, and in my case, so I'll explain my business journey. So I was doing a PhD in pharmacology full time at the University of Birmingham. I knew that it wasn't for me after a few months, but it was a 4-year program. I did some soul searching to work out what my purpose in life was. And since I'd been on this crazy journey, overcoming bullying, social anxiety, depression, all these different problems that I had as a kid, and I received coaching myself on how to get more confident for several years, I decided that I wanted to become a full-time coach and help other people out. Help out my target market, just shortcut their journey, no BS, help them stick to the path that's going to get them results, and teach from personal experience. I thought that I would be a natural at coaching because I have high levels of empathy and a lot of personal experience overcoming anxiety over a 10-year period. And as I mentioned, I received plenty of coaching myself, spent my life savings on being coached to overcome different traumas and issues and build confidence. So I knew that I wanted to become a coach, but I didn't know the process. I didn't know how. And when it got to the final year of my PhD, a little bit of healthy fear and panic kicked in. And I knew that in a year from now, I had to be in a different career. I didn't want to apply for what's known as a postdoc, which is a post-doctoral position where you do more research and you apply to these 3 or 4 year projects, working in a lab. So I thought the only option is to have a full-time business this time next year. I was scared, didn't know exactly where to start. So I started by just taking action. What if I create a YouTube channel? What if I get an Instagram? Start to post stuff. Start to help out my target market. Then I thought it would be really cool to actually get experience coaching. How can I do this? How can I get experience coaching other people? And I started to put on 3 events in Birmingham. The first 2 events, I didn't have anybody turn up, but I carried on going and I got 3rd time lucky. I put on events using a platform called meetup.com, and I had a bunch of people show up to the 3rd event, my 3rd attempt at an event. And of course I was nervous, and the event itself was a Q&A. And at that time I was starting off as a coach, and one area of life that I used to struggle with was finding dates, finding a relationship, and it was tied to a background of social anxiety. So I put on free events to help guys out who were struggling to find a girlfriend, help them feel more confident, to go out there, be themselves, and meet people. That's how I started off, and since then, I transitioned to doing social anxiety coaching for men and women and focusing on a bunch of different areas. But that was my starting point. And I was really happy to have people turn up. And I invented this thing called a free taster coaching session prior to the event itself. This was my upsell. My upsell was free coaching. So I did the event, which was basically a coffee social with a bunch of people. About 4 or 5 people came to this event. And we sat around a table outside. I remember it was summertime, quite a sunny day. And I did the event. People were asking me questions. I was being honest and positive and helping people feel better, feel more motivated. And then at the end of the event, I mentioned that I'm currently offering free coaching sessions to get experience. If anybody here wants to take me up on this offer, just give me your email address and I'll be in touch. And I had a person that was interested. A guy called Jermaine that I started to coach, did about 3 or 4 sessions with him, and I was enjoying it. And I could see that the sessions were helping him. One thing that stuck out is I remember this guy saying that he said, Phil, these are the conversations that no one's really had with me. And I really need these kinds of conversations. Conversations where we talk about quite sensitive areas, but it's handled appropriately. And the other person has the chance to give their opinion, be listened to, be heard. And the sessions were helping him out. And I found my first client, first paid client, from doing free coaching. I invented a free program called a 6-week program, 1 session a week for 6 weeks. And my first client, first paid client, did a free 6-week program. Really, really enjoyed it. And he had enjoyed it so much that he said, you know what, I'd love to do another 6-week program for you. And I set a price at the time. I said, happy to do that for £100 a session. And he agreed to it. He said, why not? Let's give it a go. Since I enjoyed the first program. He did a 6-week program. And he got so much value from it that he carried on working with me every single week, apart from Christmas time, for a full year. And that was amazing. Basically, it meant that I had £400 a month coming in from one person for a full year. This is a guy called Sonny, and you can see his testimonial on my YouTube channel. He did a 1-year program, Social Anxiety Mastery. Came on in confidence a lot, got fitter and healthier. Really, the program changed his life, having that regular help and support, someone pushing him to operate at his best, not let victimhood get in the way, and open up with people more, better connections, better conversations. So it helped the guy out a lot. And that was a chance encounter. Just got speaking to this person in town, made a sort of silly comment. Something happened, made a silly comment, and we ended up getting into a conversation. And I mentioned that I'm doing coaching, and I currently offer, I'm doing free coaching at the moment, and I have this free 6-week program. and he was a bit skeptical. But he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you my email address, and am I okay to go away and think about it?" And I said, "Sure, mate. Think about it as much as you want." And I emailed him, and we scheduled the first session, and that's how I got my first long-term paid client. And then I carried on with my events since they were working, building them, getting practice, getting experience. I continued to post on social media, committing to coaching, outreach all the time, growing as a person, sharing my journey, sharing the journey of my clients. And before you know it, I got myself some more meetup groups to do more events. At one point, I had 3 groups, 2 in Birmingham, 1 in Manchester, and I was doing 3 events a month just to get lots of experience. In the end, I settled for 1 group, which I enjoy the most, is most aligned to my purpose. It's known as Social Anxiety Mastery Birmingham. And if you go in this group, you can see that I'm the organizer, and there's over 600 people in this group for live events. And I do coffee socials once a month, and I'm getting 60 people coming down to these events, and 20 people on a waiting list. And it's been improving all the time. We now have a whole cafe to ourselves, and I get this cafe for free because everyone there buys a coffee. So it's a really nice location as well, somewhere called the Mailbox in Birmingham. And I do these events where it's a mixture of group exercises to get people out of their comfort zone and building confidence, and deep conversations where I give advice and I help people feel more confident, reframe challenges, overcome fears, inspire them to take action, etc. And then when the events finish, I mention that if you guys are interested in private coaching, I do the first session free of charge. You're very welcome to contact me if this is the case. Then I do the tasters, and some of those tasters lead to paid clients. And that is the business model. But it's been built over time. And what did help me out was actually doing the PhD itself, because the PhD, it taught me to go with what works and go with the evidence, not to listen to other people's unqualified advice. And you'll get a lot of this if you go down the business journey and you're starting a business. Everyone's got a perspective, which is cool. And a lot of people will give you their perspective on business and how to run it, how to do it. And this is nice because you get to hear a lot of different perspectives. But know that if someone doesn't actually have a business, they're not running one, ultimately, take their advice with a pinch of salt, because they're unqualified to give business advice since they've never done it themselves. So you will get a lot of advice, and this is okay. It's all part of the journey. It's information, it's clay, and it's up to you how you mold that clay, what you do with it. But ultimately, your business is about you. And also as well, it's about your goal of serving your community. And this leads me to a really, really important point. What is creating a business all about? In my opinion, right now, It's about building a community. All right. Hey, Mike. Great to have you on the stream. Yes, I'm from Manchester in England, and I built a business 2 years ago, a coaching business, helping others overcome social anxiety. And I just want to help out people with all my skill sets. So I assume that you're interested in building a business. And I was saying that where I'm at in my journey, I view creating a business as building a community. The community, that's your target market. The people that you're serving and helping. And the great thing about building a community is that you get to interact with and become friends with your target market. These are the people that are going to buy from you. They're going to help you to pay your bills. They're going to help you to be your own boss and pursue your purpose. And for this reason, I love the idea of having an in-person community. One of the challenges with social media is that it's less interactive compared to in-person, face-to-face. And what this means is you can't get a read on your target market anywhere near as well on social media versus in person. So if you want to really be good at what you do, in my opinion, you want an in-person community. If you think about it, give you an example. So lots of businesses, they have focus groups. They run focus groups and do product testing on small numbers of people to get an idea of how their products are received, what could be improved, to get feedback, right? When you have an in-person community, you have access to feedback on tap. You can see the feedback. You can see when people are happy, enjoying themselves, and they're getting results. And you can see when people are a bit uncomfortable or they're not getting the results. So you can basically constantly see what's working and what isn't working. And it's much easier to sell to people who you actually get on with, who actually trust you and they value what you do, than strangers who you don't know at all. There's two things that come to mind on the topic of selling. It's about value and trust. You need to have both. If you have a really, really valuable product, but there isn't that trust, people don't really know you, it's hard to convince that person to buy from you because what you're asking for is a giant leap of faith. There's this random coach. He could be good. I have no idea. I don't know if I trust this person to be open with and talk about personal things. Not sure what this person's character's like. Are they reliable? Is it a scam? Is it real? How does it work? There's so many questions and barriers that people might have. But when you build a community, immediately you're overcoming the trust barrier. And I say immediately, let me rephrase that. Over time, you overcome the trust barrier because you're actually connecting with people. There's no doubt. They can see that you're committed, genuine, passionate, and reliable. And what happens with my events these days? Maybe 1 in 5 people in the room are current clients of mine or have done coaching with me in the past. So this makes it easier for me because I barely have to sell. If people want to question my credibility as a coach, they can just go and have a chat with my clients who are stood in the room. So there's no doubt in that. But even at the start, when I didn't have this dynamic, I was actually surprised at how trusting people were in a good way. There was a mental block that I used to have of fear. People wouldn't buy from me after just spending a couple of hours with me doing a free coaching session. They wouldn't know me well enough. They wouldn't understand the value of the coaching after just a few hours. This just isn't true. Wasn't true for me. When I've had a great coaching session, connected with somebody, helped them open up, helped them feel more confident, more motivated, that person, they already trust me. They already know there's value there, and they're already interested in doing more coaching. I'll throw this out as well, something that I've been realizing, immersing myself in this world over the past couple of years. There's a lot of focus on, when it comes to selling, on converting maybes and potential buyers into yeses. And people focus on this. How do I convert someone into a sale? What if someone's a maybe? Can I convert that maybe into a strong yes? And really, if people focus on this, they're going to drive themselves insane. Trying too much, trying to force things. It's not about converting no's into yeses, in my opinion, in my line of business. It's really about finding the right relationships with the right people that are right for your coaching, for your products, for your service. Your reputation is one of the most important things. Even if you converted someone that wasn't that interested into someone that was, would they really be the right clients for your service, for your products? If the answer is no, then it's not the right relationship. It's not going to move you forwards in life. Sure, on a temporary basis, you'll earn a bit more money. You'll earn an extra £400-500, whatever it is. But you won't enjoy it. They won't enjoy it. You don't want to force it. The best relationships in business, they just happen. A little bit like romantic relationships. It's best when you don't force it. You get out of your own way and just allow it to happen naturally. You don't get to decide when it's going to happen. You don't get to force it. You don't have that level of power, but you don't need to. You have to trust. And when you least expect it and the time's right, it just happens. So the mind can obsess over the how. How will it happen? How will I get the sale through? When will I get the sale through? They're focused on the how. This comes from fear and anxiety. There's uncertainty, and you can't see exactly how it's going to pan out. But the thing is, you do cross paths with people, and sometimes you're crossing paths with somebody who's genuinely looking for what you're offering. So it's not about forcing people who are not interested to buy your products. It's about finding people who are already interested. they're already in the right frame of mind. And if you have a quality product or service and you find the right people, guess what? That person that you find, they're worth 10 times as much as the wrong person. Why? Because they come back and they buy again because they're getting value. They're the right target market. They're going to grow. They're going to get more confident. They're going to get the results that they're looking for. And what this means is they might come back and do a second coaching program to go even further. If you really like a film and there's a follow-up to that film, you might watch the follow-up. If you really enjoy that too, you might see the full trilogy. So in other words, the right relationship can result in a client that comes back for more and more of your product or service because you're hitting the brief, you're helping them out, they're getting results, and it just feels right. So trying to force it is not the right, doesn't come from the right place, doesn't work, doesn't feel good. And the question that I was asked, which helped me out, is why are you doing this? Why are you in the entrepreneurial world? What's your purpose being here? I want to help people out, first and foremost. I want to make a big impact on the world and on lots of people, create lots of success stories for clients. Also, I want the freedom. Since I want the freedom, why not give that freedom to myself now? Take the pressure away. I didn't go into business to try and force things that aren't meant to be. That's not much fun. That's like overexerting and overstretching yourself. You're now off balance. You don't feel at your best. You lose power. You lose touch. So you want to actually enjoy yourself and enjoy what you do. Otherwise, you might as well stay in a 9 to 5. Of course, I could sit here for 12 hours talking about different things I've learned. Really simple, bit of advice, crazy obvious, just cutting straight to the point. Don't wait until you have a perfect product, perfect service, till everything's ready before you launch it on a certain date. Just start now. Stop procrastinating, start taking action. Because it takes time. It's not overnight, but it's not so long where you're going to be completely put off. How long does it take to build a business? Depends on how hard you're willing to work, the kind of business you're building, so many factors. So the answer is different for every person. In my case, it took me 6 months of really, really hard work and full commitment to start getting a client through, earning some money from the business. A year to get to a stage where I can live on this. And now I'm 2 to 3 years in and it's doing a lot better. And it's growing all the time still. And there isn't really, there's not a ceiling in sight. So I can just keep on going from strength to strength, growing as a coach, growing my client database, and expanding on all levels. But it is important for me to stress that I'm a lot more hardworking than the average person. And this is not being arrogant, I'm just stating facts. I know that I'm a lot more reliable, a lot more punctual, a lot more disciplined, and I work harder. This is how I ended up getting a PhD in the first place, how I built a business while doing the PhD. I'm ambitious. I'm not a dabbler. I commit to things. I go for it. I'm quite relentless. I just keep on going. No matter how I feel, I just carry on. So, how long does it take to build a business? It depends on what level you're willing to go to. If you're willing to commit fully and you're going to just be a total warrior, okay, I'm going to become a warrior in my life and just breeze through every single different challenge and do whatever I need to do. I'm all chips in. I'm going to put my whole life into it, all my energy, immerse myself, completely commit and not hold back at all. Okay, this person's really, really serious. They're going to succeed eventually. With that mindset, it's inevitable. That person, 1 to 2 years, they can do it. If someone's a dabbler, they're starting a little bit, taking a break, they go on a diet for a few weeks, then stop, start at the gym, stop at the gym. There's not that consistency and that discipline. Honestly, I don't know. If that person, they have a chance, it's possible, but it's a tall order, a big ask, and probably they need to make some changes. They probably need to get some coaching as well to hold them accountable and shortcut the journey for them. So if you want to make a business a full-time thing, only do it if you really, really, really want to do it and you're fully committed. It's not easy. It's not some get-rich-quick scheme. It's not like you're this lazy person with a laptop sat in a coffee shop and the money just comes to you from nowhere, out of the sky, falls from trees when you're walking about. It's not like that in the real world. And obviously, if you watch those webinars where people will say how to make, 5K in 10 minutes, the gimmicky stuff, that's not how business is. But to flip that, it doesn't mean that you can't make a lot of money and you can't be highly successful in what you do. That is possible, but it's really about where you're at. Are you willing to commit fully? Are you willing to just go for it and not stop? Do you have an idea? Are you willing to drop the ego and pay for coaching if you need coaching? Are you willing to make mistakes and fail your way to success? Are you willing to face going through a period of time where you're not seeing any results at all and you're thinking it's a scam, it doesn't work, it's these successful people just got lucky, and just carry on until something comes through? Are you willing to take massive action? So much action that something has to give and still carry on? Are you willing to really go for it rather than just half-ass it? These are important questions to ask yourself. And of course, I can't speak on behalf of all businesses. I have a solo coaching business. I'm a sole trader. This is my set of business experience. But I have a lot of life experience. Doing a 4-year PhD where I was creating new drugs to prevent heart attacks and strokes. I was learning different skills there. My own personal experience, overcoming fears, social anxiety, building confidence. My experience building a free business and making it full-time, doing in-person events, building a in-person community. And at the moment, because I'm so busy with other stuff, social media is serious, but also I'm not relying on it. My main focus is what's working. I go by the evidence. I do what actually works. So I know that YouTube, Instagram, social media, I know that it works, but it takes a lot longer. And it's, in my opinion, a hell of a lot more challenging than in-person events. In-person events, there's a bravery barrier. You have to be a brave person to put yourself in the spotlight and say, I'm going to help a group of people today who I don't know. I'm going to have 20 people come to an event, find a place, and help them all out, do a public talk. Requires a lot of bravery. So there's a bravery barrier, but it's better and faster for building a business, getting clients, helping people, having an impact, growing as a person, growing as a business person as well. It's a lot better. So social media is something that is in the background for me. So it's not the priority. My events are the priority, but I still like social media. I still want to help people out, and I still want to find people who I can coach and therefore help out to a greater degree. And through doing the PhD and business stuff, I also have experience being a busy person, a professional and a busy person. So sometimes people will think, well, how come this person doesn't have the greatest thumbnails? How come this? How come that? You're going to get armchair criticism when you go down the business route, and other people, they're unqualified to give business advice, and they're going to be naive because they've not been on the other side of the coin. They're not going to realize how much stuff you've got going on and how you have to save time in certain places. They're not going to realize that you're working on several different things, you're spinning multiple plates. They might not have that appreciation. They might think that you have all the time in the world to do one thing, but really you don't. So being a coach, you can be busy, helping lots of different people out, marketing, putting on events, finding venues, messaging databases of people, so much stuff going on. So because there's a lot to manage, you have to be okay with not being perfect at everything that you're doing. Okay, I'm going to do a good job at these things, and then some things are going to be just okay for now. They'll get better in future, but they'll just pass the bar, and it'll be a bit of a job, good enough for the time being. You have to be okay with that. You can't have the mindset of everything has to be perfect before it goes out there. You can't have that mindset. You have to be okay with people seeing imperfections, mistakes in what you do, because it's a learning process. It's a bit like when you would do science lessons in high school, and there'd be those forms where it was like, if you was to redo this experiment, what would you do differently? In other words, you have to be willing to experiment, not be perfect, and then redo and make it better. So rather than trying to have a perfect idea and then putting it out there into the world, how about you put an unpolished and far from perfect idea out there? Then you do a redo, you redo it again, you keep on going, and eventually that idea becomes really, really good, refined, it's robust, it's been tested, and you know that it actually works for helping people and it works on a business level too. You have to be brave enough to experiment in business and go with the gut, go with what feels right. If you're enjoying something more, go with that because you'll be more passionate. It'll come across better. You'll attract more business. It's not fair on you if you're not enjoying it anyway, and you'll provide more value. You have to be willing to give a lot of value and keep on giving, and not have this in a relationship where you're always focused on taking and what you can get. A lot of people have this mindset and it holds them back. Even people that I'm coaching in business, and they want to make a £3,000 sale, and they're like, but will this work? Will this messaging work and get me £3,000? And they're focused so much on the taking, but they need to focus more on the giving. Give, keep giving, don't stop giving. That's where the value is. The value is in your service and your products. And the point of it is to actually help people out. That's the purpose. That has to be your purpose to really succeed in business if you're a good person. So what stops people building a business? Fear and conditioning from society and other people that creates limiting beliefs and basically faulty perspectives. So people are scared of going into business. They're scared of the criticism. They're scared of what if they do a live stream and not many people come on? What if they do an event and no one turns up? What if this? What if that? They're paralyzed with fear. But doing business is about taking action. I'm going to put an event on, and even if no one shows up, I'll be there. I'll turn up. Let's just see what happens. Let's test the waters, see what happens. The worst case scenario is a no-show event. Okay, and then you'll learn how to market that event better in future. No problem. What's the worst case scenario if you try and sell to somebody, they say no, which is fine, and you just carry on going. So when it comes to selling, I think it's nice to get to the truth, to know where you stand. Figure out if it's a yes or a no. To give yourself that certainty, that security. It's like you're going out there and hunting for food. You want to have access to the information. Okay, there's no food there. Great, I'm happy that I know that. Well, maybe this other person will want to do a coaching program, so I'll ask this other person instead. And of course, you can't rely on any one individual, but you can rely on yourself and people as a whole, providing that you take full responsibility and commit 100% and keep on going. That's what you can rely on. And sometimes business can come through when you're least expecting it. As my mentor said to me, you leave a trail behind you from all the action that you're taking. And sometimes in that trail, someone just comes forward when you're least expecting it. You might go completely broke, have zero in your bank account, even minus. I've had that happen and bounce back from it. That is fully possible. That's a risk that you might have to take on board if you're going into business. So I had that happen to me, but I didn't panic too much. I knew I had a sale coming through around the corner from a girl that I coach called Samantha. And I knew that she was going to do another 5 months of coaching, and the payment was coming through soon. So I was in my overdraft for a bit. Then the payment came through. Then £1,000 sale came through about a week after that, and I bounced back. That can happen in business. It's a risk you have to take, and you're not going to be broken as a person, even if you go broke. That's one of the ultimate fears that people have, because of course it takes time to get things off the ground. And in my case, I was already making the cost of living at that point. It was just a cash flow thing where there was a delay with several payments at once from different people, and I saw the balance crash down before it took back off. So there's uncertainty there in business, and this can terrify a lot of people. But also it's really exciting to just jump in, dive in. You're going to feel quite alive. You're really living life. Probably there'll be some adrenaline there when you make that decision and you choose to live a brave life and be a warrior, be your own boss. You can't be afraid of getting no's. Whether it's a no-show, someone saying no to your product or service, learn to handle that is important. And also realizing that with enough action taken, you can find the yeses. You're going to get, as I briefly mentioned earlier, you're going to get some unjustified criticism and unsolicited advice. People might say things like, your product or service is too expensive. It's, it costs too much. You're going to get this kind of criticism, but know that other people without the business experience, they're going to be naive. They may not realize that you don't get paid for all of your time working, only some of it. So you may have to charge more because of this fact. So you have to trust yourself, trust in the processes of life, and face your own fears. That's the key. Know that businesses are all about people. That's ultimately what it's about. And there's times where it's felt like I'm in the playground selling sweets. There's been times where it has felt like that and has reminded me of playground situations. But ultimately, it is about people. It's about your particular target market. And a great way to have a profile of your target market and to have confidence in what you do, what you provide. Think about what would help out a younger version of you. And create a product or service that would help out that person. Then you can have a younger, more naive version of yourself in mind, and you can be targeting that profile of a person. And you'll find other people that resonate with this, that are similar to a younger version of you in many ways. Your content, your message, your ideas, your product, your service, it's going to connect with those people. It's not going to connect with everybody, and that's okay. It doesn't need to. You're not looking for it to connect with every person. You're looking for it to connect really well with your niche. That's what it's about. Connecting really well with a smaller number of people rather than not very well with lots of people. Especially if you have quite expensive products and you're looking for bigger sales to come through. So connection is really important. And since business is largely about people, it's great to work on your people skills. Why not go down to business networking events? If you want to build a business, there's events going on in major cities. Why not book yourself on a business networking event? Join a group. Start to go out and chat to people. Even if you have no idea what you want to do, just speak to people and be honest and say, I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm unclear on what my purpose is, but I want to figure out if business is right for me. By having lots of conversations with different people, you can get clear on what you really want and what you don't want. Do you like the vibe of other entrepreneurs or not? And you can start to piece together an idea of something that you can do that you're going to enjoy. And actually, while I'm freewheeling in this live stream, something else which I thought I would mention is that you don't need to have a business degree or any education in business to go into business. I didn't have a business degree. I didn't know anything about business. It wasn't really important. It's about keeping it simple. It's all about fear, overcoming your own fears, just starting, making it happen, choosing the straightest, simplest path, finding evidence that you can do it and this works and this doesn't work, going with the evidence, expanding on that. When it's set up and it's working, scaling up, enjoying yourself throughout the process, learning the art of not panicking, building a community, connecting with them, treating it like a garden that you frequently feed and water. So it's a beautiful, impressive garden rather than a neglected one with brown flowers. If you have an idea or you just know that you want to go down the business route, you want some coaching, you want somebody to help you out with the basics, the ABCs, getting started, making your first sale, becoming more confident, creating a product or service that is actually going to help people, reaching your market, all these different things. Feel free to drop me an email. I offer my first coaching session for a new person for free so that you can try my coaching before deciding if you want to do more sessions. So if you want to get on a call, drop me an email. And if I feel that you're the right client, you're someone who I can help out with my business experience, I've coached several people in this area too, then I'll offer you a coaching program to help you out with your particular goals. So I'm going to sign off from this live stream for now. I have 2 coaching sessions on the cards tomorrow. So I'm going to focus on those sessions, helping out a guy from my events, and then a guy that I've been chatting with on LinkedIn. Then I have a few days off, and I'm back to my usual coaching, business activities, and planning out the next event, getting venues sorted out for different programs, all the rest of it. So until next time, hope that you got value from this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you're new to it, you want to join my live streams and ask questions, be interactive. Enjoy the rest of your day.